Silo Season 3 opens in a dramatically changed Silo 18. Juliette Nichols is now the mayor, but she wakes every day to the same carefully controlled routine. She receives what she believes are vitamins, eats dinner, and is constantly reminded that the silo is finally at peace because she returned alive after her cleaning. While getting ready one morning, she notices scars across her body and face, yet she has no memory of how she received them. Accompanied everywhere by Deputy Jerry and closely watched by Camille, Juliette struggles with strange flashes of familiarity as she greets the people of the silo. A brief glimpse of a sheriff's badge being traded for a wooden horse, and the overwhelming noise of the crowd trigger feelings she cannot explain, forcing her to retreat before the memories fully surface. At the same time, the story flashes back to the days before the silos. Congressman Daniel Keene secretly meets his sister Charlotte, a naval fighter pilot who believes someone is following her. She asks Daniel to gain access to Senator Thurman's Iran committee and secretly leak classified information to journalist Helen. Charlotte hints that she is about to take part in a dangerous military mission and believes the public deserves to know what the government is hiding. Daniel attempts to convince Senator Thurman to let him join the committee, but his request is immediately rejected. Although the senator refuses, she quietly takes note that Charlotte is participating in the upcoming operation. Shortly afterward, Charlotte and her squadron launch aboard F-35 fighter jets on a bombing mission over Iran. As missiles are fired toward their target, the pilots climb higher into the sky before flying directly into a mysterious storm cloud. Instead of ordinary weather, the cloud appears to contain microscopic particles that rapidly disable every aircraft. Electronics fail almost instantly, and the jets are destroyed. Charlotte is the only known survivor, but when Daniel finally reaches her at the Heidi Stenson Clinic, he discovers something even more disturbing than her injuries. Charlotte no longer remembers him, or even recognizes that he is her own brother. Back in the present, Juliette experiences terrifying nightmares about returning to Silo 18 and watching Bernard burn alive inside the airlock. Every nightmare ends before she can understand what truly happened. Camille comforts her while secretly making sure those memories never fully return. Unknown to Juliette, hidden cameras inside her room constantly monitor every movement, and Robert, along with his surveillance team, watches her around the clock. Robert later escorts Juliette to the airlock and carefully explains the official version of recent events. According to him, Juliette survived because she returned wearing an unusual protective suit, while Bernard died after poisonous air leaked into his damaged suit during the fire. He claims Bernard's body was cremated, eliminating any chance that Juliette could ever question him. In reality, Robert is lying. Bernard survived the burns, but was later murdered when Robert suffocated him to ensure the truth died with him. Robert also questions Juliette about events that happened before her cleaning, including an incident involving Judicial's computers. Her inability to answer convinces him that her memory loss is genuine, rather than an act. Satisfied, he leaves and later catches Camille deleting surveillance recordings that show Juliette nearly remembering pieces of her past. During their conversation, Camille makes it clear she supports Robert's decision to kill Bernard because she believes exposing the truth would only destroy the fragile peace inside the silo. A newly formed council now governs Silo 18 instead of a single authoritarian leader. Robert proudly announces that most of Bernard's surveillance network has supposedly been dismantled, although cameras remain wherever officials decide they are necessary for public safety. Juliette unknowingly becomes one of the biggest targets of that surveillance. During the council meeting, reports reveal that the mines have become dangerously unstable after years of excavation, and the explosions caused during the recent rebellion. Juliette questions why the pact forbids digging closer to the surface, planting another seed of doubt that something important is still being hidden. The meeting introduces Orla, a young representative from Supply whose confidence immediately irritates Ed Harwood. Despite his attempts to undermine her, Orla proves herself highly competent. When she finishes her report by saying, "We're good in Supply," the simple phrase suddenly unlocks another buried memory for Juliette. She remembers Martha once sending her a secret message before her cleaning that read, "The truth is, I love you. Have no fear. They're good in supply." The flash is brief, but it confirms that pieces of her former life still exist beneath whatever has been done to her mind. The council also discusses two major threats facing the silo. Kennedy remains at large after the rebellion, while Lucas is presumed dead. Officials warn about a growing resistance group known as the Outsiders, who believe the people of Silo 18 are being deceived about the world outside. Juliet's old friends Knox, Shirley, and Hank all react differently to her condition. Knox tries to remain hopeful. Hank answers her questions with patience, but Shirley cannot bear seeing someone she loves reduced to a stranger with no memories. Elsewhere, the Outsiders launch a daring raid inside the IT department. They steal equipment, hang a banner declaring that the display showing the outside world is a lie, and disappear before security can stop them. Seeing the banner causes another powerful flash inside Juliet's mind. She briefly remembers standing outside the silo and seeing green grass stretching into the distance with a city visible on the horizon. The memory clashes completely with everything Camille has been telling her, leaving Juliet more confused than ever. As Juliet's fragmented memories continue growing stronger, Camille consults the mysterious algorithm overseeing the silo's operations. It warns her that Juliet's recovery could jeopardize everything and orders her to double the dosage of the so-called vitamins, which are actually memory-suppressing drugs designed to erase dangerous knowledge. Camille follows the order without hesitation, determined to keep Juliet obedient. That night, Juliet discovers a secret note hidden inside her meal. It instructs her to burn the message, leave her bowl upside down if she wants the truth, and secretly visit the marketplace. Realizing someone inside the silo knows what has happened to her, Juliet quietly destroys most of the note before anyone can discover it. For the first time since returning, she begins wondering whether the people protecting her are actually the ones imprisoning her. The second episode begins by expanding the flashback storyline. Daniel desperately tries to help Charlotte recover her memories, but every attempt fails. She even mistakes him for someone else, proving that her short-term memory has also been damaged. At the clinic, Daniel meets Dr. Victor Krinkovich, who admits that Charlotte's condition is not entirely accidental. Victor explains that she is receiving an experimental treatment designed to suppress traumatic memories. He compares the process to building a castle with a raised drawbridge. Charlotte's memories still exist, but they are locked away until doctors decide she is emotionally ready to access them again. Victor insists the treatment is meant to protect patients from unbearable psychological trauma, but it becomes clear that the same technology can also erase information the government wants hidden. Daniel later shares everything with Anna, but journalist Helen overhears enough of their conversation to locate Charlotte. Pretending to represent Daniel's office, Helen gains access to the clinic and secretly takes Charlotte into the gardens, hoping familiar conversations will trigger her memory. For a moment it works, as Charlotte briefly remembers meeting Helen before the Iran mission, but the flood of emotions overwhelms her, and she suffers a severe panic attack. Victor calms her down, while Daniel angrily confronts Helen outside. Helen reminds him that Charlotte herself had approached her before the mission because she suspected the government was lying about the war with Iran. She believed the military wasn't simply targeting nuclear facilities, but something far more mysterious, using aircraft with mostly analog systems because modern electronics could not survive whatever threat awaited them. Daniel begins realizing Charlotte's missing memories may be hiding an enormous conspiracy, rather than protecting her from trauma. Meanwhile, Juliet secretly examines the half-burned note she received. Trying to destroy it had already made Camille suspicious, and the algorithm quickly confirms through hidden surveillance that Juliet lied about burning food. The algorithm reveals the existence of the memory protocol, explaining that people like Juliet have undergone similar treatments before. Most never recover their memories, but those who do are permanently removed. Rather than eliminate Juliet immediately, the algorithm instructs Camille to continue administering the drugs for another 2 weeks, while increasing her security. The note reminds Juliet of Martha's old message from before her cleaning, convincing her to travel to the down deep, despite Camille's instructions. Knox prevents her from using the damaged ropeway until it is safe, giving them time to speak privately. He quietly admits that everyone has been instructed how to talk around Juliet so they won't interfere with her supposed recovery. Even so, he risks mentioning Lucas, Bernard's former shadow. Knox believes Lucas learned many of Bernard's secrets before disappearing and suggests that finding him may help Juliet recover the truth. He also explains why Shirley refuses to speak to her. Shirley spent days waiting for Juliet to wake after returning from outside, only to discover her best friend remembered absolutely nothing. The heartbreak has become too painful for Shirley to face. Martha finally arrives and meets Juliet alone. Although she admits writing the original Good and Supply note before the cleaning, she denies sending the new message hidden in Juliet's food. Instead of giving Juliet direct answers, Martha encourages her to trust her own instincts, just as she always did before losing her memory. Before leaving, Martha returns Juliet's multi-tool, hoping the familiar object will awaken more forgotten memories. Following the mysterious instructions, Juliet visits the marketplace while Deputy Jerry follows close behind. Knowing no one will approach her under constant supervision, she creates a distraction by falsely accusing Jerry of inappropriate behavior. While the crowd surrounds him, Juliet slips away into a hidden storage room where she finally meets Kennedy, Sandy, and Danny, leaders of the Outsiders. Kennedy quickly realizes Juliet has been brainwashed. He tells her the vitamins she takes every day are actually memory suppression drugs supplied by Judicial. To prove his point, he shows her the protective helmet she wore when returning from outside. Inside it is the number 17, while every helmet inside Silo 18 is marked with the number 18. He also points out that the note warning everyone not to leave the silo was not written in Juliet's handwriting. Someone from another silo wrote it. As Juliet studies the helmet, more memories surface, including fragments of her time inside Silo 17 with Solo. Although she still cannot remember everything, she finally accepts that another silo truly exists. Kennedy urges her to help locate Lucas, believing he may possess answers that neither of them understands yet. Before they can continue, their meeting is interrupted after one of Juliet's admirers unknowingly reveals her location to Camille. The Outsiders escape through hidden passages while Juliet is safely removed before security storms the room. Investigators discover a concealed tunnel built behind the walls, confirming the resistance has been operating beneath Judicial's nose for some time. Camille questions Juliet about Kennedy, but Juliet cleverly pretends that he was simply trying to recruit her into spreading outsider propaganda. Satisfied, Camille lets the matter drop. Later, Juliet meets the young woman whose tip led security to her location. Although Juliet speaks harshly to discourage blind hero worship, the girl tells her that even if she's forgotten who she once was, the old Juliet remains an inspiration to everyone in the silo. Deputy Jerry then surprises Juliet by admitting he dislikes treating her like a prisoner. Instead of abandoning him again, he asks her to simply tell him whenever she needs a little freedom. His honesty suggests that not everyone assigned to watch Juliet is completely loyal to the system. Elsewhere, Orla is still missing, creating fresh concern within the council. Paul continues rewriting the pact while quietly arguing with his wife Kat over her apparent sympathy for the rebellion, hinting that divisions continue spreading throughout Silo 18, despite the government's claims that peace has returned. The ending of Episode 2 finally reveals what the memory protocol truly is. It isn't ordinary medical treatment, but a sophisticated system designed to erase or suppress memories that threaten those in power. Charlotte's treatment in the flashbacks mirrors exactly what Juliet is experiencing in the present, strongly suggesting that the technology controlling Silo 18 originated long before the silos themselves existed. The government's original goal may have been preventing trauma, but over time the process became a powerful weapon for controlling information and rewriting reality. Juliet's growing flashes of memory prove the protocol is beginning to fail. Between Martha's encouragement, Kennedy's evidence, the mysterious helmet from Silo 17, and the repeated references to Lucas, Every clue is pushing her back toward the truth. Even though Camille and the algorithm tighten their grip, Juliet is slowly remembering the life they tried to erase, making it increasingly likely that the secrets buried inside Silo 18 will not stay hidden for much longer.